Hey everyone, Delphi Trading Group here as we enter the pretty much first week of trading of 2026. Again, we want to say Happy New Year. Wish you guys a great 2026 when it comes to trading, and hopefully it's a prosperous one for you as well. So we decided to put out a special report here on some of the things we are looking at for this upcoming year, some predictions we think will play out. Now, while we can't give out stock specific names because that would not be fair to our members, we are going to point out the different areas of the market that we do think are going to do very, very well in 2026 and beyond. So let's get started. Our first prediction is that space will soar in 2026. What does this mean? This means that we feel that SpaceX, now this is not really a big secret. A lot of people are looking for Elon Musk to take SpaceX public via IPO. That's not really what we are forecasting. We're forecasting that we think this will give an underlying bid to some space stocks that have already done well. Now, again, we can't give out specific stocks, but we do think this will trickle down into the other space-related companies. Okay, so this prediction we feel has already played out. Again, our members, we're all positioned very well for all of these predictions we're making. But we do think SpaceX will go IPO. That will, in turn, trickle down into the other space names. We can give you Rocket Labs if you want, RKLB. We do not currently own Rocket Labs, so that could be one you might want to watch. Again, a lot of these space-related names have done very well already, but we think there could be more upside to go. And we also own some smaller cap names that we think, could do 5 or 10x. So if you guys are interested, you guys can always hit the link here in our YouTube channel. It'll direct you to our landing page, which you'll find some information there and how to sign up. Remember, what we charge here monthly is cheaper than what most platforms charge just for option flow data. So let that sink in. So that's going to be our first forecast here for 2026. Watch out for the space-related names. We also do think you could see some more IPOs coming out, like OpenAI, Anthropic, which has Claude. We do have a certain instrument that our members are in that are already tied to these private companies. So we already have exposure to these private companies, SpaceX, Anthropic, Neuralink, another Elon company. We already have exposure to these companies via some other financial instruments, so we're already tied to these before they even come out for the IPO, if they do even come out for the IPO. So moving on. Our next big forecast for this year, robotics, the next step for AI. Okay, what does that mean? Well, until now, we all know what AI has been doing this past year and a half in the markets. A lot of these AI-related companies like NVIDIA, AMD have gone completely vertical. But up until now, AI has been a source of information, right? So if you need to figure something out, you can go to Gemini, ChatGPT, or Grok on X. If you have some ideas you want to put out there, you can go to these AI products, and it's basically like having your own Einstein assistant helping you with what you need. Now we feel that the next big narrative is going to be taking AI into the physical world, right? So that means robotics. It could mean, air defense robotics. It could mean robotics, Optimus is coming out with robots that are going to help our everyday life. It could mean robotics like Amazon has in its warehouses. So again, we cannot give out stock specific names. We are in a ton of these robotic companies, but you may want to look at companies that are, producing the nuts and bolts of the robotics, the eyes, the ears, the touch, right? The mobility, all those things are going to be drivers for these companies that supply robotics their parts. So keep an eye on those names. Do some research. You can, like I was just saying, you could probably go to Gemini and punch up some information to get a list of names. But we do think a lot of these robotics names are going to be the next narrative and are going to outperform actual AI companies like NVIDIA and AMD. So do some research and keep an eye on those robotic names. Okay, our next forecast. And this is a big one for us here. We are pro-crypto here at Delphi. I myself have been in crypto for over 10 years. And we are huge believers here, huge long-term believers. And our members are already in a bunch of these crypto names that we continue to add to even this past weekend. So crypto tokenization is here to stay. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that when you're tokenizing an asset, you are taking something and putting it on the blockchain. Okay, let's take an example of your house. Okay, so right now, for you own your house, you have a title company, you have a title, you have different middlemen that let's say if you want to sell your house or even take a loan out of your house, you would have to go to the bank, fill out the paperwork, go through the process. It could take you weeks, to get it. Let's say you want to get approved for a home equity loan. Okay. Now, as we move to tokenization, that's going to make things much more easier. We're taking out the middleman, right? So let's say you have your house and it's tokenized that you own it on the blockchain. You can go to a DeFi platform. Okay, again, we're not going to give out crypto-specific names, but you'd be able to go to a DeFi platform very easily and very quickly, take your tokenized house and, take out a loan via stable coins against your house. You don't have to go do the paperwork at the bank. You don't have to go through a title company. You simply can go to one of these DeFi platforms. Again, put up your tokenized asset, in this case your house, it could be your car, and very easily take out a loan against what you own. Okay? That is where we're headed. We're going towards tokenizing assets. We're going towards tokenizing stocks, and tokenizing options, tokenizing bonds. JP Morgan just launched a tokenized fund. So, and just to use stocks as an example, if you own a stock and you sell it, you have to wait, 1, 2, 3 days for the settlement to clear. And, you can, let's say you wanted to withdraw funds out of your stock account. It has to, you have to set up the withdrawal. It could take a day or two to get to your bank. Well, if we tokenize stocks, you can go in just like we do with crypto. You can sell a crypto. It settles instantly. You have those funds. You can send those funds to anyone you want, anywhere in the world, in seconds. You don't need to set up a wire transfer, go to a bank, set up a wire transfer. You don't have to do all those things. And this is where we are headed in the financial markets. Okay, we are not even in inning number 1, right now, when it comes to this. And the main plays here are, without giving too much away, stable coins. Okay, you're going to hear a lot more about stable coins. You're going to hear a lot more about the blockchains that stable coins are on. You're going to hear a lot more about these DeFi protocols. Okay, that again, you'll be able to go and take out loans or get high interest APYs, staking your stable coins. When you stake a stable coin, like let's say USDC, for example, you can go on a DeFi protocol, stake your stable coins, which is like lending it out, and you can get 8 or 9% against your asset. Okay, so this is where things are going. I mean, people don't understand how early we are in this, but we do think it's going to happen sooner than later. Okay, we do think this is going to happen fast. It's already happening, and you do not want to be late to the party. This is like a chance of getting into the internet back in the in the middle 90s. So again, this is something you might want to watch if you're not really involved in crypto or do not know much about it. Again, find our link. You can sign up in our for our Discord. We have channels on crypto trades. We have long-term investments in crypto. We update crypto every day. So please join us, get in on that, because again, we're like in inning one, and we see huge upside in crypto tokenization in the next 4 or 5, and even further out years to come. So that's crypto tokenization. Next up, we have small cap bio will be eaten up. Okay, what does that mean? Well, from now until through the next 4 or 5 years, not too many people know this, but a lot of the big pharma IPs, intellectual properties, are expiring. Okay, a lot of the patents are expiring on their major profitable drugs. So what does that mean? That means that when they expire, any other biotech company or pharma company can go in and develop that drug and sell it. Okay, so a lot of these big companies are going to start losing major revenue off of their patents expiring. We saw this happen about it was like 2010 maybe. This started happening back then again when patents were expiring. So what happens then? That means that these companies, these big pharma companies, they need to go out, find new drugs in pipelines, promising new drugs, and gobble up or eat up those small biotech companies so they can replenish their revenue. Okay, you are going to start to see, our forecast is you are going to start to see a lot of small biotech companies start to get bought out. Okay, one way to monitor this is through option flows, which is what we do. A lot of our big option flow winners are tied to biotech names. It is funny how, when we see option flows in a biotech stock, literally the next day, next week, or next month, some news comes out that coincidentally affects those options that nobody really knew, or they did know behind the scenes. So we are not really in any right now, but we are going to be searching for option flows to get our members in. But this is something you might want to watch. Okay, we're going to be doing research looking for high promising small cap biotech companies. But again, just watch out for this year and in the years to come, because you will start to see a lot of big pharma companies and big biotech companies buying these smaller companies out. So that's one of our additional forecasts. Moving forward, and we're coming to the end here, we've already put our neck out and talked about this on a couple of our market report videos that we do every week. This special report is taking place of that. But what we are seeing in the markets, we think and are forecasting the indexes will retest the monthly moving averages. Okay. Well, what could that look like? Let's move to trading view here. Okay, I have SPX here on the 1 month chart. We are at this point the furthest in history away from the 50-month moving average, which is this red line down here. Okay, you can see how far we are. This is the furthest away in its history it has been from the 50-month moving average. Every other time, the SPY and the other indexes as well has been this far away Now, mind you, it hasn't been this far away, but every other time the index had a pretty good separation distance-wise, it has always reverted back to the moving average. So we think this move in the markets is not sustainable. We're not saying we're going to crash. We're saying that we are going to revert to retest these moving averages, okay? That could mean the 20-month moving average, which is this line there. It could mean the 50, okay? Now, it doesn't mean it could be down here. As we go higher, if we go higher, this will continue to go up, okay? So this is our final forecast for 2026. We do think the markets at some point, and it could even be the first quarter, we do think they will retest the moving averages. Now, whether that's the 20-month down here, this is around 6350 on the SPX, or the 50-month down here at 5600. Okay, that is our final forecast for the year. So again, please like, subscribe to the channel. If you guys do want to join us and our members in our Delphi room on Discord, we go over all this stuff. We monitor it daily. We are already in long-term positions on a lot of these different forecasts that we're putting out. So if you want to get in on those, it is not too late. We continue to buy, and we will be hedging moving forward for this possible retest. So again, if you want to get involved with us, you can hit the link in our YouTube channel, which will take you to our sign up, which again is much cheaper than mostly all platforms that are supplying option flow data only are charging. So we'll leave that at that. We will be back next week again with our weekly market reports. We will pick up again with that next week. So again, we hope you guys have a great week, a great weekend. Good luck trading, and we will talk to you next week. Take care.